Hi there, welcome back to the channel and to something a little bit different tonight. Recently I ran a poll ahead of the trip that I'm going to make tomorrow, asking what would people like to see in a video that I could make on that, and way out in front of all the other things that people ask, information about the cost of making a trip, the cost of charging. But what I'm going to do is share with you the planning that I'm going to go through just to see how that can operate, and also it'll be interesting to see tomorrow how it compares with what we actually experience when we're out on the road. Okay, so here we are in a better route planner. As you can see, I'm going to be heading away from Livingston South railway station in the morning, going down to Kidderminster. It's picked up that my car is the Skoda Enyaq 85. It's connected with this e-node, which means it will transmit live data. I've told it I want to arrive at Kidderminster with about 30% because I don't want to be left totally empty when I get there. I'm going to have a day at work and then going on to my hotel in the evening, so I don't want to be left with no power whatsoever. You can also pick out few but long stops, short but many stops. I'm going to go for quickest arrival. And my network preferences, as you can see here, are Tesla and Ionity. Okay, so a better route planner reckons it can do that drive in 4 hours and 35 of driving in 23 minutes, giving me a grand total of 5 hours and 3 minutes and just shy of 300 miles. The other thing I could do, and I maybe do this tomorrow, is plan that on the car sat-nav and see how it works, see how it compares. The advantage of that is that the battery will then will automatically preheat ahead of getting to a charger. However, I'm not sure whether it will necessarily default to picking up Tesla superchargers, because Skoda have got a default preference for going to power pass chargers, i.e. Ionity. So that's not going to necessarily precondition according to the chargers that I want to get to. Hi there, it's the morning and time to set off for Kidderminster. So I've typed in the postcode into the car sat-nav and it's reckoning 305 miles, which is slightly longer than a better route planner suggested, and it thinks I'm going to need a stop for about 12 minutes. It's suggesting MFG. They're really quite expensive, so I'm going to say I don't want to go to that. I want to go to other charging stations. I've filtered for only those above 100 kilowatts, so that removes all the slower chargers. Now the car reckons I can get to the Warrington area, which is further than a better route planner reckoned, so that's quite interesting. Again though, these are all MFGs, so I think I am probably going to go with a better route planner suggestion, which was just to go to Tesla. So yeah, I think I'm going to abandon this, although I might well I'll put in where is near to, I don't know that part of England very well. I want something on the M6. Yeah, it's really suggesting I just go a little bit further, and they're all off the motorway, so that's less than ideal. Yeah, I tell you what, we'll put in that one there, which is, I don't know whose that is, doesn't say. Well, it's the one we'll go to. Oh, that is MFG. All right, well, so we'll go with that. It thinks I will get there with 11% left in 3.5 hours. There is no way I'm going to manage to go for 3.5 hours. I've just had breakfast, dropped my son at the school bus, and so I've had a big mug of tea, and I am going to need a toilet break. So like I said on the video last night doing the preparation, I will just go with a break at Tesla at Todd Hills, just before Carlisle. So the car is set up just the way I would normally drive it. I'll put it into eco mode just because I want to eke out every last bit of efficiency. the roads are wet, it's 12 degrees, so we shouldn't manage too bad, but I'm not going to hang about. I need to get down there for a meeting this afternoon, so I'm certainly not going to hang about. Obviously I'm going to stick to speed limits, so 30 miles an hour here, and then in an hour or so I will hit the motorway, and then I will get up to motorway speeds. Okay, so the main focus of this video is going to be about cost, because that's what everyone who's answered the poll wanted me to cover. So I've done plenty of videos showing the efficiency and so on, although not so many on this car, to be fair. So I will cover what the efficiency is, because we're now getting into the time of year when we have to look at heating and so on, and this car doesn't have a heat pump. So how will it compare with my previous car? But in terms of cost, I charged up last night. I don't know how many kilowatt hours of electricity went in last night, but for the sake of working out the entire cost, the battery is full, so 77 kilowatt hours have been put into it. They wouldn't all have been put in last night, but for the total cost of this journey, let's look at the full 77. So that comes to, using Intelligent Octopus Go, £5.39. Intelligent Octopus Go is a fantastic tariff if you have an EV and you have a compatible charger, and I would basically recommend that if you have an EV, that's the tariff to go for. There are others available which will give longer guaranteed periods of off-peak charging. I think EDF is the main one there, but for me the benefit of Octopus is that the entire house gets the cheap rate, whereas the others only give you cheap rate for the charging. So we have an all-electric house, we have an air source heat pump, we've got solar, we've got home battery storage, so we're all electric, and therefore it makes sense to get as much off-peak as we can. And I plugged in yesterday at 4 o'clock, and we got off-peak electricity all the way through till 7 o'clock this morning. That I know from other people in other parts of the UK doesn't always happen for them, but here in Scotland we've got so much renewable energy pretty much all the time that there's always a surplus, and I always find that when I plug the car in, Octopus gives me off peak. So 77 times 7, £5.39, and that, according to the car, will give me 300 miles of range. So I'm now on the M74. I flick the stalk back to engage cruise control, and then hit the button top right to bring travel assist, and then the car will pretty much use autopilot on the motorway. It's designed for motorway use, it's not really designed for single carriageways, and therefore I don't really use it unless I'm on the motorway, which is what it's intended and designed for. So this is a really comfortable way to go, and I can now explain to you what I've just done with the sat-nav. So I was a little bit critical of the Skoda system earlier on, saying it couldn't find me a Tesla supercharger. I zoomed in when I was stuck at some traffic lights and found Todd Hills, which is where I plan to stop anyway, and it found the GridServe chargers and the Tesla chargers that are both there. Now GridServe are much more expensive. I think they've still got a discount running of 20% on their headline rate, which is something like 79 pence. So even with a 20% discount, it's not going to come anywhere close to the 42 pence which Tesla charge off peak. So I am going to use the Tesla chargers there. I can either use the app or I can use a contactless credit card. I will just do that, and I will nip in and go to Costa Coffee there, get a little top up on my coffee, because my coffee, this insulated cup, hasn't been that insulated and it's starting to go cold, so I'll get a top up on that and go to the bathroom. When I come out, I will have charged whatever I've charged to. I don't plan to wait there in the slightest. It's purely a convenience stop for me, but I might as well charge while I'm doing it. And then I'll give you a quick report. I'll overlay it on the screen rather than stopping to work out how much it's cost, and that will help inform you about the cost of this trip. As I say, so far it's £5.39, and that's, in petrol terms, that wouldn't have got me this far, frankly, if I'd been spending £5.39 on petrol. Anyway, I will report back when I am at Tesla at Todd Hills. Okay, so time to move on. I have been into the bathroom. I actually did go in to grab a coffee, but there was a bit of a queue at Costa, and so I didn't actually bother. So between plugging in, going to the bathroom, coming back, I charged for 10 minutes and 3 seconds, took on board 11.5 kilowatt hours, and that cost £5.52. So 11 kilowatt hours there is the same price as, near enough as, in fact it's more than spending 77 kilowatt hours at home on Octopus Energy. However, that does mean that you don't have the facilities of the convenience being right by the motorway, having a extremely fast charger. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive charging in public. However, it's not too unreasonable, especially when you compare the cost of petrol, where you have to charge in public all the time, if you like. Actually, I think it said on the charger there that it was something like 48 pence rather than 42, which was shown on the app, but there we are. It would have been slightly cheaper to have an Ionity sub and go to Ionity, but then you've got to price in the cost of the subscription. Anyway, we're on our way again, and it's now suggesting one of my old favourites. I need to stop at Ionity Stafford, which is in 168 miles and 2.5 hours. So whether I can make another 2.5 hours, I'm not sure. That one there took me 2 hours and 14, and I was absolutely ready to go to the toilet there. So I'm going to try and not drink lots of coffee this time, and see if I can make the 2.5 hours to get to Ionity in Stafford. Failing that, I may well just stop at the Tesla chargers in Preston, which a better route planner had suggested. We shall see. So the inevitable has happened. There's an accident on the M6, and there's a delay of, it was 6 minutes, the car's now announced it's 14 minutes. So the Skoda system's actually really, really good at announcing traffic delays and so on. The only criticism is sometimes you're right into them before you get told about them. However, on this trip there's not an awful lot I could do about getting around this, I don't think. Also, the Tesla supercharger at Preston, I was a little bit full to go there anyway. I was still at 40%, and it's showing up as offline. It's temporary closed for some reason. So for all those people who say that Tesla superchargers are amazing and they never fail, well, there's one there. The whole site is closed just now. No idea why. The Tesla app shows it's out of action. So back to the Skoda sat nav. It's suggesting my destination's 117 miles. According to the guessometer, I've got 111, so I could probably actually get there. Although this is saying I'd arrive with 9%. That's even with a charge, I think. Actually, it's showing I would arrive with 9%. So it's suggesting that we charge for 5 minutes at a Shell garage. Now, Shell, I don't even know what the price is for those. I'm not going to go there. The Tesla supercharger at Stafford is a good bet, but it's 58 pence at the moment per kilowatt hour, and it's a little bit of a diversion off the main M6, and it involves going through some pretty heavy traffic jams. So what I'm actually thinking of doing is looking at all this. Yeah, the best bet is Ionity at Stafford. So I'm going to set that as my charging destination.
The next stopover is on a limited access road.
So that's now added, and it says that we will arrive there with 26% charge left. That's fine, and I will be able to, well, the battery will now precondition as well, and that will then allow me to use plug and charge.
The M6 for 25.
It will allow me to arrive there with 26%. I will use the plug and charge facility that's set up with Electroverse. That's the Octopus card, and it'll discount the charging to, I think, 63 pence for every kilowatt hour. So it's very expensive compared with what I could get at home or on Tesla, but it's probably the best option I've got here. There is plenty of choice, so it really does come down to what's the best location and what's the best price. So I'll charge there, and I'll also grab some lunch, because by the time I get there it's going to be 12:40, so I will be ready for some food. To be honest, I'm ready for some food now, but I can't go anywhere because of this traffic jam. So we will check back in when I get to Stafford, and I'll update you there about how much it's cost and how long it's taken. Okay, charging complete. That took 22 minutes, which is the amount of time it took me to plug in, run inside, go to the toilet, and boy did I need that toilet after 3 hours. And I then grabbed a panini and a bottle of orange juice. I haven't even had time to finish the orange juice, but I wolfed down my panini, and that's taken 22 minutes. The car has gone from, I think it was 18% back to 71%. It has charged with 44.85 kilowatt hours, and a whopping cost. It would have normally cost £30.64. I get £2.45 off for being an Electroverse customer, and that's £28.19. That will be charged to my Octopus Energy account at home, so it'll go on my electricity bill basically. So it's a great system, but it would have been a lot cheaper had I been with Ionity and a subscription. But I made the decision this time around to use Tesla on the way down. And so now it's onwards to my destination. I really needed 5 minutes here. So it's now saying I'm going to reach Kidderminster and I will have 59% left. So really no need to hang around. In fact, I need to get there because I am running late because of all that traffic on the M6. So I don't think there'll be anything particular further to add on this trip. I may film another video heading northbound just to see how things compare, but I could have got here without charging. I could have made it to Stafford without any charge whatsoever, and therefore that would have cost me £5.39 to get here, which is not too bad. If you think about how that would have worked with petrol, then there is absolutely no chance I could have got here. It's 256 miles. Bravo, sir. Just block the roundabout. Thank you, Skoda Octavia driver. Much better than the white van man. As I was saying, so I could have got here for £5.39. It's 256 miles. Because of the awful weather I had en route, the car's only done 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty rubbish. I can see from the wind turbines there's been a bit of a headwind, so yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, I wasn't hanging about. I set the cruise control to 70 the whole way, and to be honest, as soon as you crossed the border, the traffic started to really build up, and it was hard to do that. But you know, we've gone as fast as I could possibly do so. Anyway, hopefully that is useful, and hopefully it delivers on what people wanted. Like I say, tomorrow I'll be making my way back north again. I'll do a separate video on that just to show the difference in charging, and I will try and use Tesla chargers the whole way. Hopefully the site at Preston will be open and will let me do that. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in part 2 very soon.